Welcome! And the time has finally come. The fun pimps have nerfed the Zombie Forcefield. No more using air slit blocks to exploit the zombie pathing and keeping you safe. We are heading into Alpha 20.1 experimental version B6, which has, as expected, dropped this weekend. Well, actually right before the weekend. I'm going to walk through the patch and talk through the key parts as well as how to access this version. But before I do, I want to send my thanks to everyone supporting through this period. My family caught COVID, though I've managed to fortunately stay negative, so it's been a tough week with no videos. If you would like to support the content, the best way is to simply watch. Hit that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. It really does help a bunch, and it's free. If you would like to go further, I invite you to join me at patreon.com/Vedui42 and signing up to any of the tiers, which is, for any creator, the best way to support, along with becoming a YouTube member by clicking the join button below the video, right next to the subscribe button. None of that is required, but it's highly appreciated for those who help me keep this going week after week. So to the nerf. For those who have been aware, this is how it looked previously. It actually wasn't the arrow slits doing anything. The zombies simply didn't see them there. So if you place it over a pit, the zombies thought it was an open air pit and normally didn't step onto them and thus would walk around, just like they would any open pit. And this was useful as the player could walk over, drive over, and utilize this to protect their base walls. And switching to Alpha 20.1 B6 experimental. Well, you see all these lovely, well, one of them is maybe not a lovely lady, but anyway, I'm going to re-enable the pathing and we'll see they have no problem. They simply walk straight across, which is of course a very big difference to how it used to be. Hold on, ladies. Stop. I know you won't get me, but sorry. Personally, I didn't use this except for where it was really fun, so I didn't really see any pressing reason for it being addressed. But like the slippery slopes, and you do remember those, right? The fun pimps clearly want to patch these oddities sooner or later. But let's have a look at the posted patch changelog. As always, it's expected that experimental version might have some bugs, so take backups. Maybe avoid using for main games just in case. You shouldn't need to restart a world, but errors can happen as always. And I'm going to go down here to AI destroy error is cancelled when damaged by an entity. This was maybe not really a bug, but it referenced where zombies would be stuck in destroy area despite being attacked. It was reported a number of times by people who were running into this, and I think especially in multiplayer, where zombies would enter destroy area mode and people could just be attacking them, shooting them, meleeing them, and they would not snap out of them until they of course got destroyed. Now with this addition, they should likely try to repath to get to the offending attacker to eat his brains. Let's have a look at further things that have been changed. The first thing I would say is the updated colliders and XML blah 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 on the arrow slits, and this is basically the force field, the zombie force field. So now they will work like iron bars and have proper pathing. I just showed that. It was bound to happen sooner or later, and those who frequently go to the forums, they know this was actually common knowledge because they already announced that they had it fixed and were putting it into the development version. Christmas is over. Yeah, sorry. No more Santa hats and clubs are going to be dropping. Of course, you can always spawn them in yourself, and if you already have them in the game, they're not going to vanish. I wish there were more themed assets, Christmas trees, lights, candles, and what have you. Maybe, fireworks and all that, maybe in Alpha 21. The next is really about that improved AI destroy area trigger percentage distances, stun handling, and capped spread to allies. And it's a bit unclear what that spread to allies really mean, or the cap of it, but I do recall reading on the forums discussions where zombies would go into that destroy area way too often when parties were fighting together. So this has been dialed back a bit and tweaked. Personally, I do find that the AI is really weird far too often, going off to destroy trees, for instance, just because their player jumps off the ground. And I don't expect this fix to be actually fixing everything, just maybe some of the cases. There have been some minor changes on materials, PUIs, but the increase of max HP from 5 to 100 on the lootable items I think was good. This is something that I think we've all run into, that they get destroyed by some stray bullets or attacks, and because they are themselves loot container, nothing is dropped, so whatever was inside is lost, which is not good. So this was a good change. Reading down to the fix section, we can pick up that the arrow slit exploit has been fixed. Sad phase. Oh well. They do, however, mention, as you can see, other shapes and rotations can and will allow setups like this, but they're not nearly as convenient, which is as expected, because with some 1200 shapes, it is going to be impossible to catch all and fix all, and often because they are not full blocks, which the arrow slit sort of was if it was laid on that proper side, and so they're going to be less convenient. I don't want them to spend all that time fixing odd blocks because I want them to actually improve the game. A bunch of PIs have had tweaks, as you can see, and you can always expect that because they always tidy up the buildings and the PIs. There are two more fixes that are notable going down. The first one is the player bedroll and vehicle locations are now displayed in the console. I wish we had a better way of locating drones actually, because I find missing drones much more of a problem than missing vehicles. And the last is the occasional null reference point when decapitating wolves, mountain lions and deer as client on dedicated server. This is something that I do see now and then. There are going to be cases where the console pops up, meaning this one, and you'll have all these errors, which is frightfully annoying if you're fighting a horde, because it stops you and it can actually get you killed. I still see some of this happening with the electric fences on and off until you rewire them, and it's good that they're catching them so we can get a smoother gameplay. I didn't see many fixes relating to the B5 version, meaning it seems to be pretty stable. I wouldn't be surprised if they let this version soak a little bit and then push it into the stable branch before long for everyone to enjoy as the 20.1 stable version. If you still want to check out the experimental branch and you don't know how to do it, the simplest way is basically go to your Steam client, right-clicking, go to properties, then go down to betas, and you want to have latest experimental unstable build, all of these ones. You just exit this one, the game will install as the experimental build. When you want to revert back, you just go to none and it will revert back to the latest stable version. But thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and let me know how you feel about the arrow slit Zombie Forcefield NERF. How did you use it before? Tell me below how it affects you in your builds. See you next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the Vedui community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.